should be live now. What's going on, man? How you doing? Hey, what's up, Bruce? Bruce joining in as always. Blueshirt Buddah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. What you wearing today, Bobby?
Well, today I am wearing one of my latest acquisitions, the Casio Tron, G-Shock Tron Square. I'm
Nice.
really loving this watch, Chris, and
Nice.
you know, this is my first all-metal G-Shock, right? I've had the regular Square, the $40 one you can get from Amazon, which I love, and now I'm thinking titanium is the next step for me. What are you wearing, man?
I'm wearing my Zen 104, of course.
Nice. That's a beauty.
Still digging that. That, like I said, won't go in my all metal G-Shock Square is one that I wear. Like we're just talking about, I wear that a lot, and those won't go anywhere.
Right.
So, but basically, our topic for today is: you guys think every watch collector? There's certain watches. What's up, James? Man. There's certain watches that every collector should at least experience once. But you guys want to list down there in the comments what you think every watch collector should experience once. I know I mentioned you earlier. At least everybody should experience the SKX and the entry level and the Hamilton, the khaki, either the mechanical or the King. You can't go wrong with any of the Hamiltons. What's some of the ones you feel like everyone should experience? G-Shock, of course. I feel like.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think you know, the G-Shock is especially the one I have, the Square, the DW5600, I think it goes by. That's such a great, like, everyday tough watch that you can just do anything outside. You can go work out, you can do some lawnmower stuff, you know, and chop down some trees, and which I actually do. And I had that G-Shock on, and I think, you know, it's the perfect watch. You know, I don't have to worry about it, you know, and I'm glad I'm able to experience that, because before I started collecting, like, I would have never thought of getting that watch, but now I cannot imagine my collection without it, ever. You know.
Nice. Hey, just wanted to give a shout out to Tennessee Mike there.
Hey, Mike.
What's going on? And that's awesome, Bruce. Your family surprised you with a Doxa 300T. That's an awesome Father's Day gift, man. Caribbean. That's the blue and orange. That's another watch I feel like every watch guy experience at least once too, is Doxa, because I feel like that's one that actual watch idiot savants, as they call us, I guess.
Yeah.
Would appreciate. I feel like. Have you ever experienced a Doxa or seen a Doxa in person?
I've seen one in person, but I've never had one. I've never worn it. I'm really curious about it because I really do like that cushion case, and I feel that would be really, really comfortable watch to wear. So I'm intrigued by it. Have you?
Yeah, I had the old 300. I believe it was the 300.
That's right.
It was one of the versions, but it had different bracelets. Which was popular, I feel like, is the Rice bracelet, because that's mainly what they're known for. And I eventually do want to get a 1200T professional, of course. You know, being a Clemson fan, I gotta have that orange dial, just like Monster.
That's right.
So yeah, gotta have that orange.
But you know, so I like the topic, and I was thinking
that's the yellow one, right?
You know, we were talking just before we started the live feed. You know, there's so many different tiers of watches, right? And so many, you know, experiences that are left to experience. And you know, and one watch that you had and I have currently is the Zenith El Primero, and I think that is such a legendary, you know, watch that, you know, if you have the opportunity, if you're attracted to it, and if maybe it's a grail, you know, go for it, because I think it's a watch that you need to experience. You experienced it, right? And then you felt like it wasn't for you.
Oh yeah, yeah. It was a long time grail. I never thought I would be able to get, but you know, the guys over at ECJ Lux, Ross, which he's no longer there, but the Chris and Trevor, they're both really good people. They get you a great deal on the El Primero, make it affordable, And believe it or not, I didn't really gain anything on it, but I didn't really lose much on it when I sold it either, because the price got it for. And like legendary watch, I have no regrets buying or selling it. It was cool to experience it. Just found out that I'm just not a chronograph guy. Great watch,
Yeah.
and definitely one that like I feel like every collector should at least experience at least once.
So what other Seikos? I mean, you mentioned the SKX. I feel like there may be some other Seikos that you also need to experience. Like, what do you think about that? Do you think maybe like a monster?
Like my orange monster. Yeah, the monster.
Yeah.
I've had that. Excuse me. Yeah, the monster. Yeah, I've had the orange monster. Was my first real piece, I guess you can say. And of course, I got the orange version, but I got it for like $180 back in the day. Right now, what are they going for? Like 400 or 500? Just one of the few watches that actually appreciate. It's one that I'll never sell because it was the first real watch that I
Right.
got, and it's.
Right.
I feel like everyone should experience it too as well. Either the orange or the black, or they have the new, what is it, the coral blue? I think they have
Yeah, the blue
different versions of
coral.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. I had that one. I regret selling that. Um,
Yeah,
I wish I could get that one back, and maybe I will one day. But
I
yeah,
think
yeah. I think
is it Mike? Mike has the jade, right?
Mike has the jade. Tennessee Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that's what. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's a beautiful watch too, man.
but selling it though. Yeah, the King Turtle. I hadn't have tried that one out. That's another one too. The turtle, and then the one I had a while back. I can't remember. It's the patty version, the blue with the red. I think it's the older version of turtle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mike said his jade is going for around 1K new.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
I go speaking of that third gen Seiko Monster, I remember the day that I bought that blue coral. I also had the option. There was, I could have bought the orange too, the orange dial. And I wish I'd done that as well. Because I think that orange one is now like over 1K, so
Yeah. Another great mid-tier brand, I feel like, of course, Zen. I feel like the 104 is probably one that everybody should experience at least once.
yeah,
And it's definitely going to be a keeper in my collection. Plan on
yeah,
getting rid of this.
that seems to be like the flagship, right? I mean, like where most people, they have a
Yeah.
lot of great watches, right? But the 104 really seems to be really popular with the community, the watch community, as almost like kind of like a step into the Zin lineup. But it's also one of their more popular watches, right?
Yeah. And then James Great Gambino said in the higher range he tried on the snowflake. I saw that in your video when you tried that on. That looks killer. And I'm sure I've heard that pictures and videos just don't do the snowflake dial justice. I know buddy Dane over Celine Driver channel, he's got a snowflake, I believe. And he loves it.
Yeah,
So
right.
whenever I think Grand Seiko, that's what I think too, is snowflake. First thing
That's
that comes to mind.
yeah.
What's going
Brandon,
on, Rob? How's it going,
Rob,
man?
Rob says monsters are the best, and yeah, we know he's a big fan.
Hmm.
So now do we the big elephant in the room, right? Is Rolex, right? I mean, does everybody have to? Do we all
Mm.
have to experience Rolex at least once in our collecting lifetime?
Uh, I feel like maybe. I mean, it's not something you have to experience. I feel like Omega is kind of getting up there with Rolex. Rob
Mhm.
will probably agree. I know he's loving his new Seamaster. So, but I feel like Rolex at least if you try on like a sub. I tried on a sub, even the date version. I like the sterile no date dial, but
Right.
I tried on the date version of the sub, and it's really comfortable on my wrist at the AD. It's one that I feel like you should at least try on, at least experience some form or another. I feel like maybe.
The Great Gambino. If they get one in stock during our lifetime, that's pretty funny. With the Rolex. Uh,
Yeah, actually, my buddy Bryce, he was a fellow when I was a moderator on Watcha.
Mm-hmm.
watch before him. He actually just got it in from the AD, and those are hard to get from what I
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah.
But he just picked it up today. I saw you posted on Instagram.
You know what's crazy about
And it looks.
yeah. You know what's crazy about Rolex
Go ahead, buddy.
by Omega. You know they have several watches, right? That you would consider you'd have to experience, right? So you have the Seamaster, right? The Seamaster. You have the Speedmaster, and you know the Man on the Moon, and whatnot, and a Seamaster. But you know, is an Aquaterra now coming up there as a potential to Seamaster Aquaterra? Is that also a watch that maybe we all should, you know, experience once in our watch collecting lifetime? You know, that's a
It's,
beautiful watch,
it's
man.
definitely a versatile piece too. I mean,
Yeah.
you could dress it up, dress it down. I mean, that's definitely a good one. What's going on, Dirk? Just saying hey. And then Rob's sorry, trying to pull it up here on the screen. Omega, Tudor Rolex, and then Rob also says Breitling.
Well, that
The
navitimer,
Breitling,
right?
that is one that I do regret selling. Is my Yeah, the navitimer. That's one that's on my actual to get list. How long it'll take me to get, I don't know, but that's on my actual to get at some point in my lifetime.
Yeah. I mean,
Of
I'm
course, right now I'm kind of an explorer.
right. I'm you know, we were discussing before we started that, you know, whether we're chronograph guys or not, and I think I'm not sure if I am, probably not, even though I have the Primero, but I would get a navitimer. The right navitimer, I
Yeah,
would, you know, that's a classic, you know.
like the Blue Dial. What is the BO1 or something like that? I
The
think it
BO1
is.
movement, yeah. The
It's a
blue
little bit
dial.
busier, like
Hmm.
yeah. But that's probably the one I would get, like one of the older ones. Some of the newer ones are a little bit cleaner, but I like the older, the classic style look. That's one classic that I don't think will ever go out of style.
Yeah, you know, the cosmonaut, the one that has like the 24-hour on the dial, like, you know what I mean? Like it's not just like a 12-hour dial, it's like
Hmm.
actually a whole 20. That I love that one, man. That's a hot watch, man.
I think doesn't Dane I think has one of those, doesn't he?
Not
Cosmonaut
I don't think he has the
Navi,
cosmonaut,
I think.
he doesn't have the cosmonaut, but he has a 12, you know, like the 12 hours, but it's like a different font. Like it's a different like style font.
Hmm.
It's almost like italic a little bit. I don't know what the exact name of the font is, but it's not your typical dial font, if I recall correctly. He doesn't have the cosmonaut, but it's just like it looks like it's like italicized a little bit. Blueshirt Buddah says,
Yeah.
right, TGV has a cosmonaut. That's
Yeah.
right.
And then James is the Navitimer and Speedmaster are must-have chronos. I feel like I'll probably eventually at some point get a Speedy. I'll probably end up flipping it quick, but just to experience it. Like I know the reduced are what right around $2,000 now. I think you
I
can
think
pick one up
maybe
for.
less,
I
maybe
remember
even
those
less.
were like way up. Yeah, just experience. Like I said, I probably end up more than likely flipping it, but just for the experience
Yeah,
of having one, try one on. Said I feel like that's definitely one. The Speedy's definitely one. I feel like everybody's got to at least try on.
yeah,
What do you
agreed.
think?
Yeah, agreed. I mean, I'm not. The Speedmaster really hasn't your typical Black Dial Speedmaster really doesn't grab me. I like the more of the racing style Speedmasters.
Hmm.
Um, I forget what reference it is, but um I like those a little bit more. Those catch my eyes. Like the Man on the Moon one, the Speedmaster Professional doesn't really do much
Like
for me.
the Schumachers,
What was that?
the Schumacher versions,
Yeah, yeah, I
the
like those.
Michael, the Schumacher versions,
I don't know why,
like
but I like
the
those.
red and the yellow one.
I have the yellow one. I the yellow
Those,
and the black.
but they're
That's
actually
awesome.
getting down too. Yeah, the 1010 I think is the one, right? It's got like the little flag kind of around the dial a little bit, like red. I think red and white
Yeah, yeah,
flag
yeah,
in a
yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's another nice. That's I like that one too. But the man on the moon ones, I understand how iconic they are. They just they just don't grab at me. You know,
No.
may not be a popular opinion, but
Yeah. Mm. Blueshirt Bruce saying he loves his Speedy.
yeah.
So that's definitely a cool piece. What else? What else can you think of that you feel like every collector should try at least once? I know like the G-Shock squares. I know Rob's a big fan. You've got a couple, and then I've got a couple too myself.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, we hit a lot of the ones that are popular in the community. I would throw in,
Mm,
and this is just my personal taste, but I mean, I would throw in like a Tudor dive watch, like something from the Black
mm,
Bay line, I mean, I have a Black Bay 58. And that to me is
yeah,
like it's my favorite watch, so of course I'm going to mention it, but it may not be for everybody
spiritual
because of the
piece.
oh yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, I think everyone should experience that watch, whether they will keep it or not, or
yeah,
just to try it on. My buddy Ryan, he thought he had like some preconceived notions about the opinions about the 58 before we met up last year, and I was wearing it, and he like totally loves that watch now. So I think it's one of those watches you have
yeah.
to experience in person.
And I don't know if you remember or not. I had the first version when they came back out with the Edda with the rose.
Oh
I
man.
had that a while back. I know. Yeah, it was just
I
kind
would
of a little too thick.
ah yeah, I would get
But
that
yeah,
watch in a heartbeat.
this one, like, I would like the proportions on your Black Bay 58 better than the older ones like I had. And then James was mentioning the khaki. Yeah, we mentioned the khaki earlier, and then he loves the rose version of the Tudor. Definitely
Yeah.
classic. It'll probably be a collectible one these days. So
I,
they're
it might
gone
be
down a
already
little bit
it
right
might
now.
it might be a collectible already. I mean, like, those prices on those ETA versions are going up, man. Like I remember last year seeing a
Yeah,
burgundy dial one with the ETA like on Bob's watches, right? And Bob's watch is not cheap by any means. They're still a little pricey, and that was like around 2,800. Now,
mhm.
now I'm like on Crown and Caliber, and they're like to like around 3,800 bucks. So I may have missed the boat on getting one of those.
Yeah. Maybe I should have hung on to mine
Yeah,
for a little bit. But you never know. That's the thing about collecting. You never know if they're going to go up or if they're going to hold. Which we don't buy for that, of course. I mean, at
no,
least I don't
no,
buy for value. I buy knowing that I'm probably going to lose money on them, even if I end up
absolutely.
flipping, because you always flip room for more pieces. That's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm flipping. I think I got like 4 or 5 for sale right now, trying to save a little bit more money towards the. So
Yeah, so I
definitely
think
more than likely going to lose money.
so. I know we talked about Zen, but I had to put in my personal opinion. Everybody should try or experience a German watch. Because I think the
Yeah,
level of finishing and the tech that's in there, and some of the brands is just out of this world. And I think my opinion, you get more bang for your buck. I mean, look, I'm not talking about a Longa and Glazzuta Original
yeah,
and some hand made brands like Ralph Lang. I'm not talking about those specifically, even though
mhm,
those are great. But if you can ever
yeah,
experience a German watch, even like something like a Zinn or a Damaska, which I have in my collection, they're just
yeah,
great watches and great watches, keepers.
yeah. Just like this 104. Like if it
Yeah,
had X on the dial, it would probably be a $10 watch all day long.
right.
Probably just because everything that goes into it. Or like that's one I do regret selling is the U1, which I
Yeah,
may end up picking up a U one. The new 50, the U50 has better proportions than the U1. I keep hassling the guy that I sold it to. There's a guy down in Florida that I sold my Squally. I bought that back, of course, as you know, from because I did regret selling that. A lot
Right.
of people give me grief off that, which I feel like probably 1521 is one that everyone needs to experience at least once because it's such a versatile piece, a fun piece too. But I keep trying to hassle him, trying to get my U1 back, but he's not budging yet.
Yeah, that U1's awesome too, man.
But
And the U50 is killer.
yeah,
The dimensions are very similar to it's thinner than the Black Bay 58, and the Black Bay 58 is just under 12 millimeters. So I bet you that, and it's a 40, and the U1 50 is a 41 millimeter watch. So I bet you that watch feels is great on wrist. Great on wrist, I bet.
you know the Zen. You can tell the U1 in weight room. If you're a watch guy or girl, you can definitely tell it's a Zen U1, and it's a distinctive look. I feel like,
Oh yeah.
especially the U1 with like the hands and all that.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, there's no mistaking the U1, and that's what makes it like iconic in their collection, even though they're not known. They're primarily a pilot watch, Flieger kind of watch kind of brand, but they have these awesome divers, and that one specifically is just, no mistaking. That's a U1.
Yeah. I mean, they use the same steel that they use to make their submarines with,
Right, right.
which is crazy. It's all pretty much almost an indestructible watch, just like a G-Shock, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then James, he just sold his 1545, his Squally. So he said he misses that. All right, that was a great watch. He forwarded me a review too, the Beardal. I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
you're familiar with those ones or
Yeah, yeah,
not.
yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
the sub a month, the Beardal. It's pretty cool, pretty fun little watch,
Yeah.
especially for the $500-600 they go for, I think.
Yeah, I've had a couple of Squallies in
Is
my
there any
collection.
others you
Oh, any others?
have you?
Yeah. Any other watches I could think? I don't know. So we covered a lot of the icons, right? I mean, like I know we're not going
Yeah,
to like really really high end, and that's fine. Um,
yeah.
but
The Reverso, maybe.
what was
The
that?
Reverso,
Yeah, I mean,
the
that's
Reverso.
yeah, yeah. That's a great example. That's a great example. That's a watch that I would
Even though I'm
love.
not a big dress guy,
Yeah,
it's on my eventual list. Like I said, I have a list of way down the road,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
not like right away. List of ones that I do want to eventually get, and that's down the list.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love the Reverso, good thing you brought that up because that is obviously a classic. We all know the history behind it. The first sports watch, and now obviously it's not really a sports watch, and it's more of a dress watch, like you mentioned.
Yeah,
But there's not too many watches like it. Man, you just like flip that, and especially if you get like a
yeah,
double-sided one, that's how freaking cool is that, Um,
yeah. It's like two watches in one, pretty much.
yeah. No, that's a good one. That's a good one, Chris. Yep.
And that's one you can actually wear kind of casually too. I mean, you don't have to dress up with it either. Like
Yeah.
you wear like a polo shirt, shorts, whatever, and you don't have to dress it if you depending on the strap that you wear with it or whatever too. So that's when you don't have to necessarily dress up, but if you need a dress watch, then you can use it as a dress watch for that too.
So then let me ask
So
you,
it's
let
it's a
me
little
ask you,
more.
let me ask you, Chris, then. So like out of all the,
Excuse me.
these iconic watches that we have to try once, what's the one that you're most likely uh to get sooner than later?
Well, I mean, as you know, I'm pining for the Explorer. I keep going
Hmm.
back to that one, so I feel like that one's pretty iconic, and that's
Yeah.
just a great A piece to dress up, dress down, and that's probably one I'll probably by the end of the year hopefully have. So, what about you?
Uh, Probably none of the watches that we've mentioned right now. I don't know if I'm in this phase where I want to just look at and collect German watches. So I have a couple of watches
Mm-hmm.
in mind, but I wouldn't consider them watches that you need to experience once, or brands that you would necessarily consider experiencing once. But if that's not to say, like, if I see, and it's probably, and this is the one that I probably would grab at first, because I think I could probably, maybe there's plenty of them out there, and that would be like a navitimer. If I had to go, if I had to
Mm-hmm.
pick one, gun to my head,
Now, I
I'd
know you
probably
like
pick a
German
navitimer.
brands. What about the Zen 903?
The Zin
Basically a
903.
navitimer.
Yeah, but here's you know what? Okay, so I have this thing where um, I get upset about watches that used to have ETA movements. That used to have a Valjoux movement in it, and now it has like the Sellita
Mm-hmm.
500. And I know that there's nothing wrong with Sellitas, but if I was going to go 903, I would find an older one that had a Valjoux 7750 in it.
Yeah.
But I would do that. I would do that. I would get a 903 in lieu of a Navitimer and be just as happy, I think.
Yeah, because I mean, they are the same one. They bought out the rights
Right.
to the Navitimer back in the 70s or something like that. I think it
Something
was. They
like
bought
that.
it out,
Something like that. Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
So even though it is no mod, they own the rights, so it's pretty much the same. I feel it doesn't have the Breitling on the dial.
Right. And I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to have brightly on the dial. It could be the 903, and I'm fine with that.
Bruce is saying, "I love the Explorer. It's probably the most versatile watch around." And that's what I
Yeah.
do like about the Explorer too, because it doesn't scream Rolex like a Submariner does. Like unless you look at the dial, you're not going to know it's a Rolex. And that's
Right.
kind of how I like to be under the radar. I don't like draw attention, the wrong kind of attention. And actually, the Tennessee Mike just brought up a good point. That's one you're actually looking at, right? Is
Yeah.
Nomos?
The Nomos.
Didn't
Yeah. I
think about
mean,
Nomos.
I think I mean, sure. Yes. I think they had their own style that is kind of like separate from a lot of other brands. Like, when I see a Nomos, I'm like, oh, that's a Nomos. One of the watches that I would consider is the Club, the 738. That's the with the sapphire back, so I could see that movement that has that alpha movement, a manual movement. Um, that's the one I'm looking at as a possibility. You know, but those seem to be readily available, so I may not go for that first. There's a
Yeah,
couple other German brands, German watches that I'm looking at. I feel like if I could wait, I could find, they pop up and watch Recon every once in a while, so um,
yeah.
I may wait for that one.
I like the what is it? The auto is it the Autobahn by Amos? It's the white with like the blue on the dial,
Yeah, is that what it's
like
called?
the automotive inspired one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it might be something. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
I think so. Yeah, I
I
think I'm
think it's got
following you.
the power reserve on the dial and all that. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that's the one I like. It's a little bit up there in price for Nomos, though. I think it's
Yes.
like with 5 or 6.
What I
So that's one you had to pick.
what I like about the Nomos Club, it's a little bit more of I feel like more of like an everyday kind of watch. The bezel around it,
Mhm.
it's not like a diver's bezel, but the bezel around is a little bit thicker. It's not as thin as some of their dress watches. So I think, it's a little bit more versatile. I mean, I know it has a wacky dial with the numbers, and the one I'm looking at has the half California numbers.
Yeah,
But that looks like it's just such a fun watch, and that's what I'm really
and that's
attracted about it.
yeah, that's one you can wear casually too. Like you can either dress up or dress it down as well.
I think with the
Just
blacked
like the
out version,
Reverso, you don't have to.
right?
Yeah. So Anyways, been going about half an hour now. Probably gonna sign off if you guys are about ready. Unless
Yeah,
you
man.
got anything else to add,
No,
Bobby?
I'm good. I'm glad to do this with you again, Chris. And this is always a lot of fun,
Yeah.
man.
Oh yeah. Appreciate you coming on, man. Like yeah, as you know, so I'll be kind of bored the next couple weeks, so
Yeah.
I'll probably be online a lot more. So,
Awesome,
but
awesome. And
anyway,
if you want to do another one with me, you let me know, man, anytime.
all right, I will appreciate everybody coming on. Bruce, James, Rob, Dirk, everybody else. I appreciate it, guys. I will catch you guys later.
All right, guys. Good night.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thanks, Chris.
Later.